Then there were three: Ford's Mustang, Dodge Challenger, now Chevy's Camaro. Like the late 60s all over again. This 2010 Camaro in the 1LT trim level is the real eye-opener because of its impressive V6 and almost complete lack of common tech. Now inside, the new Camaro is a trip down Woodward Avenue, flashing back in many ways. First of all, the styling inside has lots of Camaro cues, most notably the square gauge pods and the vintage typeface on the Speedo and the tack. Unfortunately, that Speedo is really small, the typeface is really big, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for things like, 50-mile-an-hour markers or 45. Now, the technology in this car is going to be pretty limited. You're kind of looking at it. This is the head unit in this 1LT. As you can see, there's no color LCD, there's no nav system available on any Camaro. Well, I take that back, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Your sources aren't awful. You've got AM, FM, and XM radio. CD is a single slot right here that eats MP3 discs or commercial music CDs. Auxiliary jack includes several types. The aux input that's analog, and you can also get over here to the other auxiliary, which is your USB port right here. Good for USB thumb drives, didn't work with our iPhones. Now, I mentioned a second ago that it doesn't have nav, but, well, it kind of does, because you've got it up here with OnStar. This car comes standard with the OnStar Safe and Sound system, activation for a year under that, and that will include their turn-by-turn directions. But there's no map. You're going to be getting audio-visual cues that are pretty simple on the screen. Similarly, with that, you have OnStar's hands-free calling as well, but most of us want to use our own cell phones, so yes, you've got to get an option package for Bluetooth. That's the Convenience and Connections package. That gives you audio controls on the steering wheel. That USB jack I mentioned, that's part of that package. You've also got the Bluetooth hands-free, and it also rolls in remote start here if you have an automatic transmission car. Now, the training in this guy's optional. It's the $1,000 extra cost, 6-speed automatic. You may groan, but you know most of them by far are going to get sold with one of these. You've got your standard PRND, and then you get to M, manual back here, which is what activates the paddle shifters on the wheel. By the way, these little flags up here are not the paddles. They look like paddles, but they're not. They're little flags that tell you reach here. And then behind there, you've got these rocker switches, left for downshift, right for upshift. Now, I think the star of the Camaro line may be this engine, and it's not a V8. This is the base engine, the 3.6-liter gasoline V6. But it's direct injected. And if you haven't been paying attention the last year or so, direct injection is the big story in internal combustion engines and can do wonders for their performance as well as their mileage. So, 304 horsepower, 0 to 60 about 6 seconds, and on top of all that, 1829 are the EPA mileage numbers. And in general, I gotta say, this powertrain is better on the road than it is on paper. It's always ready to run, never caught flat-footed. The power is always feeling on cam. It's a nice combination, even with that automatic transmission. And of course, rear-wheel drive on all Camaros. The most important thing about the new Camaro is its strong retro throwback look, inside and out. Perhaps better than either Dodge or Ford, Chevy has recaptured the look and style of their pony car with a bit of a wink. The face, rump, haunches, and stance all scream 1968. Almost to the point of being a commemorative rather than a long-term product. Now, some are going to scoff at you if you buy a V6 Camaro, but when they crunch the performance, the price, and the MPG, that should stop. But if they do sneer at your slush box, you might have to endure that. The cabin is a low, claustrophobic gun battery of a thing. This may be the most visually challenging driver's position I've ever sat in. Those C-pillars are also a real outrage, and since there's no LCD screen, there's no backup camera. What you do have instead is a whole lot of kind of cheap-looking plastic. But while you're in there, at least your teeth won't be crashing against each other, because the ride quality in the 1LT really does strike a nice balance between compliant and pushable. Now let's price our Camaro Coupe 1LT, reporting live from here in the bunker. About $24.5 with delivery for this guy. It's with the V6 engine, of course. You're going to want to add the $600 or so for the convenience and connectivity package. That gets you Bluetooth, USB, wireless key, and some other niceties. That's kind of a given. $1,000 for the automatic, and then another $400 or $500 to upgrade the audio. Then you're good to go on a car that's more about value than about high tech, but it's fun.